So I would like to go ahead and get this out of the way. I have a little bit of a cold. Forgive the voice. Sound like a man for once, but it just happened. Anyways, so High on Life was recently added back to Game Pass, and I was finally able to play it and actually finish the game. Many years ago when it first released and it was on Game Pass, I did play it for like an hour, but I just missed the mark, and I kept telling people that. I was like, I don't know why it didn't grab my attention at first, but it was cool and funny and haha, but I had a lot of other stuff going on in my life that I was worried about, like drinking and falling asleep on a porch. I wanted to talk about the game because I had such an amazing time with it, and there's a lot to be said about this game and the future of the franchise with the upcoming sequel that's going to release in a few months, so I wanted to talk about it. I do know this game is a few years old, and I'm sure this video won't do very well. And going into it, that's something I was really worried about. I felt like the comedy may have not held up as well as I was hoping because, as we grow, comedy grows, it changes, and things that we used to find funny aren't exactly funny now. But I gotta admit, like many of these other videos I've made, I was once again dead wrong. This is one of the very few games to actually have me rolling out of my chair laughing. It is hilarious through the entire playthrough. It set up some of the funniest but darkest scenes I've ever seen and or laughed at, dude. Because making a list of the crazy shit that you see in this game sounds like you laughed at something that should be in the dark web that you find in like death video threads and shit like that. It's terrible. Finance bro goes through withdrawals and shits his pants aggressively. Talking bear ripped in half and wants you to stay with him until he dies. Tied up militia leader killed by talking knife. Seductive Asian man stuffs hands in a creature. And everyone was telling me in my stream that, oh, well, you should have expected it to be this funny because the people that made Rick and Morty made this game. And honestly, that's my issue. As I get older, bro, I'm going to be honest, I didn't think Rick and Morty is that funny anymore. Like, I tried to watch it recently. It's not for me. And don't flame me for that, but you know what I mean? It's not for me. Another issue that arises with this whole, it was made by the Rick and Morty people, is the fact that it's a downfall for the sequel to the game. Because I've heard that High on Life 2, which will be coming out soon, is not going to include Kenny at all, which was voiced by P. Diddy himself, Justin Roiland. And honestly, that just kind of destroys the game for me, man. Kenny is extremely annoying the entire playthrough. He's constantly in your ear yapping about stuff that does not matter, and he's just talkity talk. In the game, you can adjust how often they speak, but I turned it all the way up, obviously, because, he was funny on the occasion. My favorite gun just so happens to be the frog, voiced by none other than JB Smoove. But Kenny's definitely the bacon in this BLT. I don't know the ins and outs of what Justin Roiland even did to get canceled, FYI, but it's just disappointing that we can't at least replace him with a dude that's already stole his thunder. He's voicing Morty right now. There's someone else voicing Morty right now. So bro, it's the same voice. It's just not so much crackling up. If you would have replaced him, do you know how many jokes you could crank out about that? Oh my god. Even if you change his voice entirely, where you just make it a completely different person, you know how many jokes that would set up? You could crack so many petty jokes at Justin Roiland, and there's nothing he could do about it because you would just be talking about the past character. You'd be talking about past Kenny. That would be absolutely hilarious. And I'm sure the game will include this. They're definitely going to bring up the fact that Kenny's not around anymore, and they're gonna crack jokes and shit. I got a bad feeling. But still, even more funny if his voice would have changed. But enough drama and back to talking on the game. There's a lot to do in this game, and it does feature a lot of different firearms. Technically speaking, the Gatlians that talk to you. It does feature a lot of different movement between the jetpack, the hovering, and all that other stuff. But I feel like that's not really the strong suit of this game. Something about High on Life that me and my chat shared was the fact that gameplay of High on Life isn't exactly the best gameplay. And I'm not saying it's not fun. It's definitely entertaining, and there's not really that many bugs, or any bugs that I ran into whatsoever. But in my opinion, there's no way you can say it's unique or anything super special because, again, the selling point is more of like the talking guns and the dialogue than it is the combat and the boss fights, which, again, it's very good and it feels very finished, but it's just not the selling point. This game is going to be an absolute powerhouse for things like dialogue and funny stuff, but again, they did their best. It's entertaining gameplay and it kept me entertained through the entire game, but it just wasn't anything crazy. It felt like Doom, but you're spitting at people. I wish the world would have been a little bit more open because of the hilarious characters you found around all of these maps. Again, like the teddy bear, like the withdrawal man, like the dude that you need to talk to get gooped. I'm trying not to spoil anything that's really funny, but you get what I'm talking about. Like, it's super entertaining to get to walk around and explore all this crazy shit when there's so many interesting, funny characters around. So if you can imagine this world being a complete open world, can you imagine all the shit that you would find? And the game was pretty open open by default because you had around 8 locations to go to at all times. You could just go through the teleporter and you could dip around and walk around and talk to everybody. And they were decently sized, in my opinion. But it's just such a crazy thing to think about. Imagine having an open world version of this game where you could go like planet to planet, and just imagining all the shit that you would run into and the hilarious dialogue and the random strangers that you would come across. It's just insane. Can you imagine this game being that way? It's a game that you get on for laughing and having fun, cutting up and taking a load off. It's just entertaining, man. If you had a long day at your job, if you had a long day at school and you come back and you throw this game on, you're gonna get a laugh out of it. It's gonna put you in a pretty good mood. Maybe even shooting a load. Because literally, you shoot loads on enemies. I mean, we have not determined what you're shooting at those enemies, dog. All the guns clench when we fire, and then they also moan when you feed them power-up pebbles. So I don't know if they're shitting.
Whoa, thank Jesus. Okay, feed me that Catterall, baby. Come on, put it in my little mouth.
What are we talking about? Yo! Did you just hear that? He said, are you trying to edge me or something? Jeez. I don't know if they're nutting. It's so confusing. I don't like this discussion at all. Let's move on. It's a fantastic game to get to experience for the first time like I did, and thank God that I didn't play the game back then, because again, it gives me something to play and something to talk about now. A lot of the funny things that this game features may be spoiled for you already, which is like the biggest issue with this game. The sheer amount of clips that this game produced when it first released was insane. It ran rampant around the internet, and even for the last few years, it's kind of hovered around. If you're worried that you've seen everything that's funny in the game, I promise you have not. There's a lot to experience for yourself too, and I'm one of those people that's like, okay, you can show me how the movie ends, but if I don't get to experience it for myself, then it really doesn't hit me that hard. Because I need to see the full story, and this is one of those games where you need to see the full story. I tried not to spoil anything so you could go and check the game out for yourself, because it is fantastic, and it's on Game Pass, so there's no reason not to play it. It's not that long either, so you can beat it in a few hours. I think I beat it around 9 to 10 hours. If you're considering trying this game seriously, I beg you, please play it. It's absolutely fantastic. It is not a waste of time. It is such a good laugh. It's one of the very few games that have me laugh from like itself and not something I said during my gameplay in my time. Because usually I'm yapping and just say dumb shit like I've been doing with Wu Chang, which I'll also be making a video about. I just talk shit during that. That's the only reason why I laugh. I laugh at my own jokes. Anyways, that's really all I have to say for this video. I know it's maybe not be the best structure. I know it's not really like a game review. It's more just me talking about the game and what's coming up with the next game. But I don't know, man. I don't think that really matters. I'm just having a yap session, you know what I mean? I feel like these videos where I just kind of don't script anything, don't dialogue nothing, I just put some bullet points in a damn note, and I just start yapping. I feel like it works a lot better for me and you guys, because it seems like those videos always do a lot better, because I'm not saying I write a whole script for these videos, but most of the time I have some kind of shit to go off of, because it's hard. I'll sit there and talk and yap, and then I'll just kind of clear it up and write as I'm talking, which is fucking hard. But anyways, to get out of your ear, we're done. That's all I have to say. So until next time, gentlemen.